My ex-husband's new wife sold my kids' clothes for drug money. I found out when my 6-year-old daughter, Lily, came home shivering in a tattered jacket, her favorite pink dress gone. The rage that burned through me could have lit the whole town on fire. It started 3 months ago, when Mark, my ex, won partial custody. I fought tooth and nail in court, but the judge saw his new job, his new wife, Claire, and their shiny suburban house as stability. Stability. My foot. I knew Mark's history: booze, lies, and a temper that could shatter glass. But Claire. She was the real snake, all smiles in court, whispering poison in his ear. They got the kids every other weekend, and I thought I could handle it. I was wrong. Lily and Max, my 8-year-old son, would come back from Mark's house quieter each time. At first, I chalked it up to the divorce, the awkwardness of splitting time between parents. Then I noticed their clothes. Max's superhero sneakers, the ones he begged for last Christmas, were replaced with dollar store knockoffs. Lily's dresses, hand-sewn by my mother, vanished, swapped for stained hand-me-downs. "Where's your coat, baby?" I asked Lily one chilly October evening. She shrugged, eyes down, and mumbled, "Daddy said I didn't need it." I called Mark, my voice shaking. "What's going on? Why are the kids coming back in rags?" He laughed, that lazy, mocking chuckle I used to love but now despised. "Relax. Sarah, kids grow out of stuff. We're just decluttering. Decluttering." My kids' belongings weren't his to toss. I pressed Lily gently, and she finally whispered, "Claire said she's selling stuff to make room." My heart sank. Selling what to who? I drove to Mark's house the next day. Uninvited, Claire answered the door, her fake smile dripping with condescension. "Sarah, what a surprise," she cooed, blocking the doorway. I pushed past her, demanding answers. In their garage, I found a pile of my kids' clothes, Lily's dresses, Max's jackets, even their school backpacks stacked next to a for sale sign. My blood boiled. "You're selling their things," I shouted. Mark strolled in, smirking. "It's just old stuff. We need the cash." "Cash for what?" I snapped. Claire's eyes darted away, and I saw it a nervous twitch, the kind that screams guilt. I'd heard rumors about her pills, late-night parties, debts. Mark was no better, always chasing quick money. They were pawning my kids' lives for their next high. I could have screamed, could have called the cops. But what good would that do? The court already favored Mark. I needed to be smarter. I needed to fight fire with fire. The next weekend, I sent the kids to Mark's with a plan. I'd spent days sewing tiny GPS trackers into the hems of their clothes, nothing fancy, just cheap devices I found online. If Mark and Claire were selling their stuff, I'd track where it went. I kissed Lily and Max goodbye, my heart twisting as they climbed into Mark's car. "Be good," I whispered, praying my plan would work. 2 days later, my phone pinged. The trackers led me to a seedy pawn shop downtown, its windows plastered with neon signs screaming, "Cash." Now I walked in, my stomach churning. There they were. Lily's pink dress, Max's sneakers, even their little winter hats stacked on a shelf, priced like cheap trinkets. The shop owner, a greasy guy with a toothpick in his mouth, shrugged when I asked where they came from. "Some couple," he said. "They come in every week." I bought back what I could afford, which wasn't much. Holding Lily's dress, I fought back tears. This wasn't just fabric, it was her smile when she twirled in it, her giggle when she said it made her feel like a princess. I couldn't let Mark and Claire steal that from her, from us. I spent the next week digging. I followed the trackers to other shops, piecing together their scheme. Mark and Claire were hitting pawn shops across town, selling anything they could grab: kids' clothes, toys, even school supplies. I found posts on sketchy online marketplaces, their usernames barely disguised. They were raking in hundreds, maybe thousands, while my kids came home in rags. But I wasn't just angry anymore. I was determined. If they wanted to play dirty, I'd play smarter. I started small, replacing the kids' clothes with thrift store finds, sewing in more trackers. I let Mark and Claire think they were winning, selling useless stuff while I built a paper trail. I documented every sale, every shop, every post. I even recorded a conversation with a pawn shop owner who admitted Claire tried to haggle over Max's backpack. Then I got creative. I posted on community boards, pretending to be a concerned buyer looking for gently used kids' clothes. I described items I knew Mark and Claire had sold: Lily's dress, Max's sneakers. People responded, unaware they were exposing Mark's scheme. One woman even sent me a screenshot of Claire's online listing, boasting about brand new kids' stuff. Cheap. With enough evidence, I went to a lawyer, not the overworked public defender from my divorce, but a sharp, no-nonsense woman who specialized in custody cases. She read my files, looked at the photos, the tracker data, the screenshots. "This is theft," she said, her voice firm, "and neglect. We can use this." The court date came fast. Mark and Claire showed up, all smug and polished. But I was ready. My lawyer laid it all out: the stolen clothes, the pawn shops, the online sales. I watched Mark's face pale as the judge flipped through my evidence. Claire tried to play innocent, claiming they were just cleaning house, but the judge wasn't buying it. The screenshots, the GPS data, the pawn shop receipts, it was undeniable. The judge revoked Mark's custody that day. He and Claire were ordered to pay restitution for the stolen items, and the court issued a protective order for the kids. Lily and Max would stay with me full-time. As we left the courtroom, Lily hugged me, whispering, "Can I have my pink dress back?" I nodded, tears stinging my eyes. But the fight wasn't over. I wanted to make sure no other parent went through this. I started a local support group, teaching single moms how to spot signs of neglect, how to document, how to fight. I turned my pain into purpose, sewing hope into every stitch of my kids' new clothes. Mark and Claire. They faded into the background, their greed exposed, their lies unraveled. Lily and Max are thriving now. Lily twirls in her new dresses, and Max wears his superhero sneakers with pride. Every night, I tuck them in, grateful for the strength I found in myself. I wasn't just fighting for their clothes, I was fighting for their future. What would you do if someone tried to take what mattered most to your kids? Share your thoughts. Where do you draw the line between right and wrong in a story like this? Anon.